This tutorial covers inserting and formatting tables in PowerPoint using Create version 85100. So let's insert a blank table first. Place your cursor in the placeholder. From the Create tab, go to the Tables group and choose Insert. So we're not using native PowerPoint to insert a table. Click Insert, click OK. Choose your number of rows and columns and the table will be inserted on your slide. And it's formatted to the default style. And the default style is based on those settings in your Preference Manager, which you can set in either Excel or PowerPoint, and for which there's a separate tutorial available. So I'm inserting my data. And you'll see it's all formatted correctly. So it's assuming that the first row is labels, so they're left aligned. All of the subsequent columns are for digits, so they're right aligned, and the header row is formatted differently too, because it's assuming it's your header row. To reformat the table, just select the table and go to the Format group and the Tables group and choose Whole Table. And there's a set of standard table formats available based on your Preference Manager settings. You can choose to remove the heading row if you wish. You'll see in the preview that the heading row is removed and it's all formatted as table body. You can also choose alternating shading row. You can choose to have no borders, etc. So there's a few options available here. So if I choose alternating shading row and click Apply, I can view the formatting before I come out of the dialog. If previously you've set the font size, so you've either increased it or decreased it, and you want that to be retained when you reformat, you can uncheck this option here, Set Font Size. Otherwise it will set it back to your default font size. And the same with the alignment. If you've made any manual changes to the alignment, uncheck this and it will retain them. And when you're finished, you can either close the dialog or click OK to reformat. If I wanted to format these totals slightly differently so that they stand out, I can just either bold them or italicize them, whatever I wish. And then from the Create tab, Tables group, if I launch this little task pane here by clicking on this arrow, the task pane will launch on the right-hand side of my screen. And these are my table borders. So from here I can choose Totals Borders, which is a darker top and bottom border. Click on that and it will apply those borders to that selection. And all the other border formats are in here as well. To remove any borders, if you wanted to remove them from the body of the table, you can just select them and click on Remove All and it will remove them. If you want to get back any formatting, so you want it to be back to the default style, just Format Whole Table, Numeric, and click Apply. So I've got another table here and I can show you some more formatting options. I'm going to reformat the whole thing, Format Whole Table, and we'll have alternating shading row and OK. So you'll see the table has been formatted according to my selection. If I've got a lot more data to insert in the table, perhaps it's going to run over the bottom of the page, I can compress it by selecting it, selecting those cells I wish to compress and go to Format, Compress Row. And it will remove any paragraph spacing in the table, top and bottom on each cell, so it gives me a bit more space. If I want to reformat, just go back at any time to reformat the whole table. To format individual cells or rows, I can select them and go to the Format drop-down and this time choose Selected Rows and choose from the options available. So I can format them as a heading row, so perhaps I needed an additional heading row at the top here. Body will remove any additional formatting. No borders or alternating shading row. I can also choose fill and font color here as well. This will apply a background and a font color to the selection, and the colors in here are based on your color palette which you've set in your preference manager. So I can just choose, let's have a light green, and click OK, and it will apply the formatting to those selected cells. I can also apply formatting to selected individual cells as well as rows. We've looked at compress row. Compress column will do a similar thing. It will remove the paragraph spacing left and right to give you a bit more space to fit more data in the table. And we've got negative numbers as well. So you'll see in this table I've got some negative numbers. Some are formatted with brackets and some are formatted with a negative number. I'm just going to reformat the whole table so that you can see it properly. Click OK. It's reformatted the table for me. So I've got different style negative numbers here. Let's just stick another one in just to demo for you. I'm going to select all the data, and I want to make sure that those negative numbers are formatted consistently. So from the tables group, click on Format and Negative Numbers, and it will give me red and bracketed numbers. I can also sort my table alphabetically as you can in native Excel. Click on the Format drop down, click Sort. It asks me on which column I wish to base the sort, so I'll choose number 1, and my column has headers. Yes, that's referring to the header row at the top. I don't want that to be included in the sort, and I can sort it ascending, A to Z, or descending. Click OK and it sorts the table accordingly. Let's go on to the next slide now. So this table would be typical of a text table, so ideally I want the text to be left aligned. So in the Format Whole Table group, I would choose Text and OK. So we've looked at the Table Borders task pane. We've also got a Text Formats task pane, which I click on. It will appear on the right-hand side, and you'll see we've got the table formats, text formats here as well. If I wanted bullet points in my table, I can just select them and apply. Table bullet 1 or table bullet 2 will give me the next level. If I want to remove those bullets, just click on table body text, left aligned or right aligned table body numeric. So that's tables in PowerPoint. There's a separate tutorial for tables in Excel and for copying tables across to Excel using Create. Thank you.